All right, stream is probably live.
We should trade down, really, is what we should do. What do you think about that, Kevin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
We're live.
All right. Oh, goodness. The draft is hot and heavy. Welcome to Saints Happy Hour. As always, we are sponsored by Hardhide Ponchatoula Strawberry Whiskey.
We barely
I gotta
made
say,
it.
I didn't
We
plan for the
barely
Saints to
pulled
be on the
this
clock
together.
at 8 o'clock, guys.
You because you can't do math. You can't do math.
Hey, maybe the
6 picks, 10
trade
minutes a
down is
pick.
still
It
in
should
the
be-
play.
It should have been like 8:30. But whatever. We're here. Saints are on the clock. Kevin, Ty Warren's still there. Loveland is still there. What do?
You trade
take
down.
from-
You trade down.
you trade down, and you trade down. Listen, if Goodell walks up with the envelope and they say they took Ty Warren, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But this is a ripe time to be trading down.
Andrew,
The official Panthers tweet after picking Tet McMillan is feeling like a McMillion bucks.
Tremendous.
No, a McMillan bucks. Feeling like
Andrew-
a McMillion.
Tremendous. Good luck.
Genty's not there. We knew the Broncos were hot and heavy for Genty. Who is there a team that's willing? You got to have a partner to trade down. You got to have a partner. What's a guy that
I know
somebody
who the
would
Saints
want?
are picking, and I don't like it.
You know who they're picking?
Yep, and I don't like it.
Well, tell us then.
How do you know? I'm
It's
not
on
seeing
Twitter.
This. Oh, is
You
it?
guys ready for
I
this?
see it.
You
I
can
see it.
you can be a
Don't
This
say
is out of
that.
left
Hang
field.
on.
This is
be,
out of left field. No?
be
He
the
had made a pick.
commissioner. Be the commissioner, man.
Go ahead.
Who is it?
With the 9th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle, Texas.
Wow.
Who is that?
Wow.
Tackle.
It's not-
Called it.
Who is that?
It's not sexy. It's not sexy.
I mean, look,
But
we
could
have
we-
bookend tackles. Like, if Fuaga and Kelvin Banks don't get the job done for us at tackle, like we should be set at tackle for the next freaking decade with these picks. All right.
Right, but here's the thing. Kelvin Banks could play guard if they don't draft a guard
Yes.
on this. Now this definitely sets. I mean, it's perfect bookends. It is perfect bookends for the Saints' offensive line. You have your right tackle. If they're not getting, calm down. This is me saying this. Calm down, everybody. It's just, again, the Saints had so many needs that this was completely necessary. This was necessary. I would have preferred, obviously, I'm going to keep screaming trade down until the heat death of the universe. I would have preferred Ty Warren. Like I said, when you said the pick, it wasn't the sexiest pick, but somebody else say something.
Was he the best off tackle available right now where they were picking in the draft?
You should.
There's a school of thought that Connerly might be better, but
Okay.
yeah.
I love it. I love this pick.
I think that the truth of tackle in this draft is after Banks and Connerly, the consensus is offensive line
drop-off.
basically sucks in this draft.
Right.
So if you were going to take one, you kind of have to do it now.
Take that pick to the bank.
I love. There you go. You can take your McMillan bucks to the Banks Jr. I love the pick. We just did our big show on Tuesday, and you asked who I think they're going to pick, and I said I figured it was going to be a tackle, an offensive lineman. It's what you want to do when you're building a team. When you're, again, and this also goes toward I think probably like next year is the year that they go get a quarterback. I think they ride with whoever they've got now, maybe Spencer Rattler or whatever.
I don't.
I don't know.
See,
I don't know.
the reason I don't like this, Dave, is because they're trading up to get a quarterback. They're not going to sit at 40 and just wait. They're just not. And I wanted them to trade down to have the ammo to move back up. the Saints have invested so much in the offensive line, and to keep having to go.
I love that. I love that.
Again and again and again. It is, Andrew, incredibly frustrating. I'm not going to lie.
Since 2014, the Saints have picked either their first pick or a pick in the first round. So sometimes their second pick if they had 2 picks in the first round. Then it's been offensive line or defensive line since 2014. I mean, think about that stat for a second. That is insane. You would think we would have better offensive and defensive lines based off that truth. But yeah, since 2014, the Saints have picked either a defensive lineman or offensive lineman in the first round every year except for one. And the one where they didn't, they picked Eric McCoy in the second round with no first round pick. I mean, that's absolutely wild.
Man.
So, I mean, but look, we knew Mickey Loomis's philosophy. We know he likes to build from the lines out. We know that Kellen Moore and him are aligned on this. So that's been put out there. And I expected the Saints to go O-line with this pick. Nick Underhill put out there that they were probably going to select Connerly. I think that was his prediction. We knew Will Campbell was in the mix. I've got a text right now from Streif, and he says he's a great kid. He says, I think it's a little bit of an overdraft. Personally, I had Connerly a little bit higher, but I had them very close. He said he's a great kid. He said, personally, I would put Banks at left tackle, move Fuaga back to right tackle, put Trevor inside at left guard. I think your line is very solid.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Here's the thing.
Here's one thing I will say about our offensive line, and we know this to be true. Over the last 5 years, the amount of injuries the Saints have had has been absolutely bonkers insane up front. Like a guy goes down, they go down like flies. Okay. And to have bookend tackles that are basically a rookie and a first-year player now, like it's nice to have young players that doesn't promise that they won't get injured, but at least you don't have like Andrus Peat, who's been in the league now for 10 years and he's missed like half the season every year he's been in the league, right? Where he's going down.
Here's the thing that disappoints me with this. The thing, I think he's a good pick. And listen, draft people like Nate Tice, his dad, John Tice, who was a former Saint tight end, former offensive line coach in NFL, former head coach in NFL. Banks is his favorite offensive lineman. He's like, listen, Banks has all the tools already in place to be a very good pass protecting offensive lineman from the jump. He just needs strength and technique in the run game. And I think that's why coaches love him, because pass protection is a harder thing to teach, right? You got to have sort of natural gifts to be able to do it. And run blocking is sort of something that offensive line coaches feel that they can teach. So guys like that really like him. The thing that's frustrating, Kevin, is to me, and I said it, is I just don't think the Saints are going to have the intestinal fortitude or the courage or whatever to sit at 40 and just take the quarterback, take Jackson Dart or Shador or the 75-year-old Shuck. I don't think they're going to have the patience. So they're not going to have 4 top 100 picks. They're going to have 3 because they're going to use one of those to get back into the first round to get the quarterback. And that's what's frustrating. I would have rathered someone else move down. They trade a pick to get back up, and you still have 4 top 100 picks. I just worry that that's my worry here.
I'm trying not to think about that right now. I'm just trying not to think about that right now. I'm just trying to think about the positive in which we've greatly helped our offensive line.
Yep.
Again, either this guy, look, he started at left tackle his college career, 3-year starter. So you either put him at left tackle and you move Fuaga back to right tackle where he was playing in college, Or you throw him in at guard, and he can. And so either way, he's going to immediately make a difference.
Yeah.
He's an immediate difference maker. He should be a starter.
So Ralph earlier, I feel like we're bearing the lead here because Ralph thinks we're going to trade up. So like, should we be on alert from here on out?
Oh, 100
for this first round. Should we just keep doing this for the next hour and a half, or just leave and then come back and plan to come back because
my
they're going to draft up
free.
for Jackson? I mean, like, and who are they drafting up for? Like, are they waiting to see how far Jackson Dart falls, or?
Well, here's the thing. Pick 93 from Washington can get them to 20. Could get them to between 27 and 29 in the first round. You can get up between 13 and 11 spots, depending on which chart you use. So I don't think they'll move up more than that, Dave, because that would cost like more assets or 2026 assets, which we start to burn the facility down. But here's my thing.
Mickey wants to know: is that a dare? Are you daring?
Hey. Jacksonville was so irresponsible trading up to second spot. I'm shocked Mickey Lewis wasn't involved with that.
You don't think Andrew, Travis is worth it?
Andrew, here's my question.
Okay, just ignore the question. Sure.
I mean, that sounds like a no.
That's a small player to give away a 2026 first round pick for when you're the freaking Jaguars.
Here's my question.
I think what's more impressive is that the Browns are accumulating valuable draft picks. You
moved down 3 spots and picked up a first next year off a team that's probably going to suck.
Yeah. It seems very smart on their part.
Yeah. Here's the question. Derek Carr, of course, never speaks to the media, but he does it through his couriers or spokesperson. His brother,
David Carr.
His brother,
his intermediary.
Yeah. His brother was like,
interception!
He wants to.
We are going to burn future assets for a 1-year quarterback rental. Sugarcoat it all you want.
I got a peach one right here.
This was a terrible draft pick. Overdraft.
Who was that in the background? The Oppenheimer 20 back
I'm assuming that's Dave's son.
I feel like the door, Andrew, it didn't open wide for Derek Carr to play in 2025. But before his brother spoke today, I viewed it as he was not playing for the Saints. There was 0% chance. But his brother kind of opened it and pushed it just a little bit ajar where, hey, he's trying. He may play in 2025. Do the Saints have information that we don't? Like maybe Derek Carr is going to play. I don't know how fans feel about it, but it would change the Saints quarterback calculus a little, would it not?
I know exactly how the fans feel about it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that situation right now. Like the focus is, look, I'm still thinking about this Kelvin Banks pick. Sorry. So I'm like kind of distracting from your question, but like Carr or no Carr, I think we have to stare reality in the face that this team is rebuilding. And when you rebuild, like you're basically starting from the bottom up, right? And I personally, I agree with the philosophy that you build starting with your lines.
Yeah.
And I don't know how good Kelvin Banks is. I think where I'm uncomfortable is I don't know if he's a top 10 pick. Like I feel like when you pick a guy in the top 10, I don't know if he should be a Pro Bowl. I don't know if he should be a Hall of Famer, but at minimum, I feel like he should be a consistent Pro Bowler.
And do you think Connerly would have been a better pick?
Yeah. And so will Kelvin Banks be a Pro Bowler every year? Like, I don't know. I'm skeptical.
And so,
but at the same time, like the Saints are rebuilding. And so how do you rebuild? You start by building an offensive line. And so, now you're going to have Banks and Fuaga as your tackles for a really long time, at least 4 years, hopefully more, right? If you extend them with contracts, and hopefully they're both really good. And hopefully this is a start of an offensive line that allows Kellen Moore to run his offense and do his thing. because his running backs and his quarterback are going to have good protection. So I think it starts there. And I think we all need to realize that, like, yeah, this team isn't going to be very good this year. We know that. Yeah. And so what's the best thing they can do to rebuild? And I think this is a sensible rebuild draft pick. On paper.
You had Walker, you had Warren. I can't believe they didn't have an offer to trade down. The Bears just took Loveland at 10, not Warren. So the Saints could have traded with the Colts, and Warren, Banks, and Walker still would have been there.
Walter Nolan's still there.
It's not great draft process. It's just, but I will say this. The thing that's kind of makes me uneasy, I feel like Fuaga was a much more certain hit than Banks. When they took Fuaga, I was like, Fuaga's going to be good. Banks, I'm like, I don't know. Does that make sense? And you picked him higher than Fuaga.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think this year's draft is as talented as last year's. So, I mean, that has to factor in, right?
Yeah. Who? I mean, you. The thing is, though, I will say this. I've liked a lot of what the Saints have been doing the last 2 or 3 years. So maybe that I don't like this is a good sign. Like, I was for the Carr quarterback move. I wasn't anti-Dennis Allen. Like, maybe the Saints need to do stuff. They need to start doing stuff that I don't like. Maybe that'll turn the corner. So it's interesting. I'm slightly surprised, although I had been hearing, not from necessarily Saint sources, Kevin, but I had been hearing that like Banks was moving up. Like Banks was a guy I had seen him mocked to different teams. This is tough. This is tough, Kevin. I kind of would have wanted. I kind of think I would have wanted Warren or Walker there. I don't.
Why are you apologizing to me for that? Like I said, I would have liked Ty Warren.
Yeah.
I would have liked Ty Warren.
There's first person who mocked Kelvin Banks at number 2, Warden Hawk 311 on our Discord. Check this out.
I mean, Blake,
I had to scroll up a little. I had to scroll up a little through the channel to find it.
Here's the thing, Andrew. You say this a lot. People in the chat are like, "I'd love the pick at 15, not at 9." Yeah. If he's good, we won't care.
Yeah.
But
right.
But if you'd have traded down a little and got him and got extra picks, we'd probably love this. We'd be if they had traded down, right, and got an extra third, we'd be like, oh. It's fantastic. We fixed the line. We got an extra pick.
If the Saints would have moved back,
who would you have preferred? Like Tyler Warren to me is the one you can make a case for. You had a couple defensive players from Georgia, linebacker and a defensive end that you could have taken. But like to me, I'll tell you right now, like the way the draft played out. First of all, Mason Graham at 5. Mason Graham at 5 is a little crazy to me. Like, I have never understood the fascination with that player. I think that was a bad pick by the Browns. And it's just like when you're picking at 5, you take a defensive tackle that's undersized, that hasn't produced very much in terms of stats. Like, what's the big deal about Mason Graham? Like, I don't get it. So I was glad to see him picked and push talent down the board. And then Membu was picked. I was surprised he went so high. He's a high ceiling guy, but ton of question marks, lazy tape. So he has the highest ceiling athletically of the tackles, but a ton of question marks. Those are dangerous guys to pick. I was surprised to see him go so early. So like this draft fell pretty well to the Saints. And then it was really a question of, do you want to go with the best corner? Do you want to go with the best tackle remaining, knowing that 2 are off the board? So like that would have been, and you can make a debate there, like between Connerly and Kelvin Banks. Like, then it depends on evaluation, right? Like I think they're both pretty close. Or like you could go defensive side of the ball, or you could take a tight end. Like those were the choices available to the Saints. And I just think when you're picking 9, like, and I said this about the Falcons when they took Pitts. When you take a tight end in the top 10, it better freaking be Tony Gonzalez level. Like if the tight end isn't that good, then you take the tackle. You take the premium position every time. So I think that's Mickey's philosophy, and I think that's why they made this pick.
I'd be interested. It kind of trickled out. Andrew, I will say this. Last year, before they made the pick with Fuaga, that Rams offer at like pick 10, 11, I want to say Underhill tweeted it out. I want to say another NFL, like they were saying like the Rams and the Saints are talking. It's locked in if Brock Bowers is there. I didn't see anything.
Dave
I didn't see anything in there.
And the Chipmunks when he eats. Go look fits perfect. We need a soundbite.
Southern Cody 99 with the 28.3 super chat. By the way, I lowered the donation goal because Loomis didn't trade up, so
Yeah. So, Andrew, your source, but I'm feeling like the Saints, maybe they just didn't get that many offers. Like they didn't have anything worthwhile,
Yeah. I feel like I would have traded down here based on what was available if a nice enough return was available. But I think really in the end, like it was really Genty. Like he would have had to drop to 9, I think, for the Saints to get some offers that were worth considering. This draft class is pretty weak. And if you want to get a tackle out of it, you kind of had to go early. That's just the reality of the class this year. They get an offensive tackle at 6'4", 320. He's big, he's physical, he's a good run blocker. I mean, I do think Fuaga is a much better prospect than Banks is, but that doesn't mean he's not a good tackle. I think Fuaga's ceiling is all pro. I don't know that Banks has that, but if your combination here is Willie Roaf and Kyle Turley as your bookend tackles for the next 5 years, that's pretty good.
Kevin,
let me jump in here. So, and I think I said this. I think I said this on one of ours where I was doing like a mock draft, where I was doing mock drafts. I had hypothesized or opined that maybe they wouldn't take Warren if he was sitting there at 9, because maybe they look at, hey, we have Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, even though he's injured. We don't, we think maybe there's something with him when he comes back. Foster Moreau again, injured but coming back. And then Dallin Holker. Like technically, they have all the tight end slots filled. And is it worth drafting a tight end with your first overall pick, when you have so many other things that you need? So I'm wondering if that calculus, if that was part of the calculus with using their first overall pick. And look, in terms of tight end, and I want to pull this up because there's a couple of guys. Like, obviously, Colston Loveland is gone, but look, you've still got Arroyo on the board. You've still got Mason Taylor on the board. And you've still got Harold Fannin on the board and Terrence Ferguson. any one of those guys. And look, they're all like mocked at like 60 or higher, anywhere between 60 and 100. So you're looking at third round, fourth round picks on any one of those guys.
I mean, this draft is kind of off the rails. The Cowboys just took Booker, yes, he's mocked in the first round, but his RAS is like 3.
That is a reach. That's a reach. That's a reach.
But again, that's like teams panicking to take the best offensive linemen that are left because it's so scarce this year.
Yeah,
it's like if you don't take an offensive lineman now, there's like 2 guys left.
Please donate. I need to drink. I need to feel better. Donate.
What pick are we up to? Yeah, it's only going to cost us.
The Dolphins are on the clock, pick 20. Number 13.
Okay, all right, not even halfway through yet. It's only like $23 to get Ralph to drink.
Yeah, how long are we going, by the way, Ralph?
We're just gonna go. We're gonna go to like. We're gonna go through Atlanta's pick because hopefully Atlanta will do something dumb and we can make fun of them.
Okay. And I guess we'll hop back on if we trade in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Southern Cody says, "God damn, Ralph's arm is a 3 on the RAS. What are the Cowboys doing?"
But like, honestly, look, like, there's now 3 teams.
Deception! This is a code session.
Oppenheimer, super chat. We are less than $2 away.
I'm sorry, Oppenheimer. I know you wanted Warren, and I wanted Warren for you. I feel bad. I just feel like
there's been 3 picks since the Saints went with Kelvin Banks. One is a guard that I would have been much less happy about in Tyler Booker. And the other 2 guys are Colston, Loveland. So that's not even the tight end you guys want, right? Like Tyler Warren's still out there and another tight end was picked ahead of him. So maybe there's something we don't know there, right? And then, Williams, the edge guy from Georgia, I don't know that an edge guy would make me any happier. Like, edge is not great for the Saints, but they do have Granderson. They do have Chase Young. They're still trying to develop Foskey. They still have Cam Jordan. So, like, edge is not great, but I feel like tackle is worse, especially when you consider the fact that Trevor Penning's option was not picking up. So let's say Penning walks next year.
Yeah.
Who's your right tackle? We have no other prospect on the team. So like when I look at the needs of this team and the future outlook of like where are the holes? Like
Saldiveri. He's injured too, though, Dave.
And he's a guard. So like we took Banks and like I look at the 3 next picks that the next 3 teams have decided are the best guys available. I don't want any of these 3 guys over Banks.
Wow.
Jason Champagne taking us over the edge. Let me read the donation message. The Cowboys selection of Booker at 12 overall tells you if the Saints traded down, let's say to 14 with the Colts, Banks would not have been there.
Yeah.
I mean, where's Jackson Dart go? Where does Jackson Dart go?
But I think
I don't think he's a first round pick. I think he goes very early in the second. Maybe even like the 33rd pick.
Does he go before Shador?
I think so.
That could go either way.
Is he the next quarterback to be drafted?
I think the real question to ask is, does another quarterback go in the first round today?
Yeah. Well, that is what I'm asking. Is he?
We're picking him.
Because if that's the case, if Jackson Dart is the next guy up as far as quarterback is concerned, and he's an early second round guy, I'm with Ralph. Like, I don't. If they want him, like, there's no way they're going to sit around and wait. I could very easily see them trading up into this first round here.
Yeah, Mickey's already phoning, man, to trade up.
Pittsburgh at 21 is the pick to look at. But what if the Falcons take a quarterback at 15? Would that not be the most hilarious thing of all time?
I think the most hilarious thing
would be ridiculous. What the hell would that
be? Please let this happen.
The Falcons taking Warren at tight end.
Hey, drink the fuck up, man.
Right. Penix would call Cousins and they would start a therapy group and be what do we do? What's wrong with us?
The Falcons have to take a pass rusher. They have to.
Yeah, they do.
They absolutely. I mean, there's no other choice.
Here we go.
Here we go. Woo. So what was the drink?
Woo. It was peach brandy. Ugh. I don't have anything to wash it down with. Hits, boy. Oh, gross.
So the score is?
The score is a 9. I don't have anything to wash it down with, and I hate brandy.
9 is a Malort like. Is it really 9?
No, Malort's like
an 8. It's an 8.
Yeah, probably an 8. It's brandy.
Yeah, I mean, you bounced back from that pretty well. You're not like you're talking normal.
Ralph likes to call things a 9, and then
you're right.
I feel like this has happened so many times.
About the pick.
Thomas is like, "What? Really?"
Yeah.
Malort's a 9, and then Ralph's like, "Nah, it's probably an 8."
Yeah, you're probably right.
We need Cody to straighten you out again, man.
Shoot, I think 8's an overestimation.
Yeah.
So have we officially reached the point in the draft where Twitter's like 3 picks ahead?
I mean, but Andrew, you said this. You said this on Tuesday. You said your sources were telling you the boards were all over the place, and we're starting to see it. We're seeing Booker. Yeah. You're seeing Loveland go ahead of Warren. You saw Banks. Like it sort of held the form through pick 6, right? But then Membo, McMillan, like it's all off the road. And I think Kevin, you are going to have even more chaos as we get to the middle, because I think you're going to have.
I don't think McMillan's going to be that good for the Panthers. I don't.
I hope so.
He's not going to watch film. He's going to slack. Cut the checks. As we look at this, where are you in your fear meter, Kevin, that the Saints are trading up from 40? Because I can taste the fear like the brandy in my mouth still.
Fear is an concern, and 8. If we're using the word fear, 6.5.
Yeah. This is interesting. Talk about unexpected picks. This is another guy I would not have chosen over Kelvin Banks. But the Dolphins go with a defensive tackle.
Kenneth Warren.
Kenneth Grant. So, I mean, it's interesting. Like, so far, this has been an unpredictable draft, like you said, Ralph. Man, I don't know. Like, I'm looking at some of these guys, and now it looks like the Colts are taking Tyler Warren finally at 14. So he went 5 picks after the Saints.
I mean, Atlanta's going to take Walker from Georgia. That is a lock.
You think so?
Yeah, it's a lock. It is a lock. That is. I mean, they're going to go or maybe. Oh well, I guess they could do Shedeur Stewart from Texas A&M.
There's another Shedeur.
No, Shamar.
Oh. Okay. I was like, wow, that's
there's
an
2
uncommon
Stewarts.
name.
I'm sorry, you're right.
So the Falcons are on the clock.
I mean,
what would be the worst possible pick for them right now? Like, what would make you the happiest?
Jackson Dart. I mean, seriously.
Or Shedeur Sanders.
A quarterback. Yeah, that's not going to happen, but that would be amazing. So, Ralph, you think they're going linebacker? You think they're going Jalen Walker?
Yeah. I think they're going him. They're going Stewart.
I think they're probably going James Pierce, Tennessee, the edge guy. That's what I would expect them to do.
He'd be a fun. He's volatile. Like, I could see him. I wouldn't be disappointed with that pick because he's got some Junior Galette in him. Like,
I mean, I will tell you, I feel like right now, if you look at how this draft is played out, you have Abdul Carter, who went 3rd. You have Mason Graham, who went 5th. But, like, honestly, he's like the least exciting defensive tackle ever picked in the top 5, in my opinion. Then you have Williams that was picked at 11. And now you just had Kenneth Grant go at 13. Only 4 defensive players out of 13 have been picked. And no corners. The top 2 corners are still on the board. So if you're sitting here...
Travis Hunter got picked.
Yeah, wait. Travis Hunter is a corner.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's sort of a corner. Yeah. But like, I'm just saying, if you're the Falcons on down, like you're sitting
Will
here
Johnson
at 15, 16, 17, 18, like there's a lot of good defensive players here that are good value.
Mm-hmm.
And I think compared to most years drafting, like this is a good like zone to be in if you need a defensive player.
Yeah, Jahdae Brown and Will Johnson.
Yeah.
So the Falcons picked yet?
Nope.
Oh. I just like
only one wide receiver so far out of the first 14 picks.
Please, Falcons, pick the running back out of North Carolina. That would be hilarious. That would be so funny.
Oh, Hampton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because they already have Bijan and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna double down on running back.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, I think
I tell you what, I've got the full RAS breakdown for Tyler Booker. So 3.93 RAS, composite speed grade poor. All three of them are reds. Composite agility grade is an okay. He got a red on the shuttle drill and a yellow on the cone drill. Composite explosion grade, red. His broad jump, red. His vertical, yellow. Composite size grade, yellow for good. He's yellow in height. He's green in weight. And his bench is terrible. He benched 20. I'm saying his bench is terrible. He got the weight up 21 times, which to them is worth a 3.55.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
While you're looking at that, what did Kelvin Banks look like on the RAS? I think he was pretty high.
He's
let me see. Hang on.
He's pretty high. I mean,
Kelvin Banks RAS. Okay. Coming up. All right, this is dated March 2nd. So his RAS is an 8.25. That's green overall, which is weird because all of his scoring is in yellow.
except for his height.
He's below average in height. Everything else is yellow. His vertical was real good. That he was at a 9.24 in comparison to everybody else.
What about his speed?
Speed grade is good. Ran the 40 at 5.16. 20-yard split, 2.99.
What about power?
Explosion grade. Oh, there's no bench.
No bench. Yeah, I think he would have probably gotten a higher RAS score if he had done that. He seems like a powerful player.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Let me go back.
A lot of ass and mass.
If you gotta, Dave, if I told you the Saints are taking a quarterback at 40 or they're trading up for a quarterback, and there's no way around it, what quarterback?
I would prefer the former, by the way. I would prefer they just get the guy at 40 and not trade up.
But they're getting a quarterback. Which one do you want?
Between Jackson Dart and Shador Sanders?
Jackson Dart, Shador, Shook. Milrow, get nuts.
I mean, not being a total, tape head, expert like Kevin over here, but probably Jackson Dart. That seems to be. I feel like Dart and Sanders are the two top tier guys, and then the other guys that you mentioned are on a different level, a little bit below that. And Shador, I don't know. I don't know why. I've never been sold on Shador. He comes with the big circus and all that, and I'm not so sure that that's necessarily best for us or for a new young coach. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess my answer would be Jackson Dart. I guess.
I want the circus.
So here's the calculus. Either you want the Saints to trade up to pick who you want.
Or stay put and
they stay at 40. They stay at 40 and they take whatever quarterback is left or available.
I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on how much they give up to trade up. But if they don't give up that, I don't know. Honestly,
Andrew,
probably the latter. Probably just stay and take the other guy. Just stay and take.
I have a question for you, actually, Ralph.
What? Brandy's hitting me.
Is the reality that the Saints have taken an offensive lineman or defensive lineman every year since 2014 in the first round, basically. Do you respect the fact that clearly this is a need, right? Like, it doesn't matter how many times you do it. Like, if your team needs this now, like, do you more respect Mickey for making this pick knowing that we need it? Because we do.
Yeah.
Or are you angry at the fact that we're picking another offensive lineman because he's done it so many times and gotten it wrong?
Yeah. Can I say yes? The thing is with Mickey Loomis, like, I agree with his overall philosophy. If you can move people on the offensive and defensive line, you have a better chance to win football games. Like, I agree with that philosophy 100%. The execution has been terrible, but I do, in a sense, I do appreciate that they are like, listen, Penning sucks, right? These picks haven't worked. Like, we gotta get it right. The thing is, I think people are a little bit too hard on Cesar Ruiz in a sense of Cesar Ruiz was like a pick in the 20s. Like, the fact that he's just a guy at guard and just like slight, and they pay him like he's like the 11th or 12th highest paid guard. Maybe they paid him too much in the extension, but like, that's not a bust. Like, he's still playing. You picked him in the 20s. Like, that's maybe like a C+ pick in the 20s, I'll say. So in certain sense, the picks that have been worse have been on the defensive line.
Twitter's having a meltdown. Saints Twitter is just so annoyed.
I mean, here's
Banks, about Mr. Banks.
These fools they worked themselves into the proverbial chute, and they made themselves convinced we were either taking a quarterback or something else, and it's just like, oh, we just grabbed this guy. This guy stinks. This guy's no good.
If they had just listened to the Saints Happy Hour podcast, they would have been prepared for a tackle. They would have been well prepared for.
If you listen to Mickey Loomis yesterday, he was like, "Me and Kellen Moore were on the same page. We believe you build the team inside out." Like, you.
Yeah, that was a dead giveaway.
He kind of told you what he was going to do.
Yeah,
and they didn't pick up Trevor Penning's 5th-year option. So, like, here's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, boy, that's a surefire. We don't like you.
Yeah, like, here's the thing.
We literally say your job. Oh, and this is great. This Twitter. Here we go. Watch the baby. Oh, watch the baby. Pay attention to the baby on all this.
So this is interesting. The Falcons just made their pick at 15.
Like a small baby.
And I told you they had to go. And this is a guy that was mocked to the Saints. This is a guy that was mocked to the Saints at 9 a lot. The Falcons take Jalen Walker.
Yeah.
Defensive end, Georgia. And I got to be honest, I feel better about taking Kelvin Banks now because he's going to have to block that new defensive end for Atlanta that might be pretty good.
Yeah. Like Atlanta must be doing backflips that they got him at, because he was mocked higher than that. I mean, they had some mocks that had him going to New England if New England threw a curveball. I hate when Atlanta does things that I like. But Dave, back to your question.
Calvin Banks allegedly said, this is from, who is this from? This is from.
Please don't use the word allegedly. My new draft pick. Jesus Christ.
No. This I don't know this guy's name, so I'm making sure this person's a legitimate person.
I'm just saying.
This is the Saints beat reporter for the Picayune. Okay. Tweeted, Kelvin Banks said he's silent committed to LSU under Coach O, but when he got fired, quote, that went out the window.
So he was a Coach O guy.
I got him. Oh, he could have been the first ever LSU first round pick for the Saints.
Okay.
I think we should count it.
LSU pick.
I think we should count it. I think it should count.
Guys, I'm going to be honest about the Falcons. I feel like this is the best first round pick they've had, at least value wise, since AJ Terrell. So since 2020, this is the best first round pick they've had in 5 years. And then if you go further back, I mean, obviously Lindstrom was a great pick for them, the guard, but I don't know. I think you probably have to go back to 2014, Jake Matthews. I think this pick value wise for the Falcons, they've been picking in the top 10 a lot, and they haven't really gotten a lot of good value. And if I'm the Falcons, that's the pick I would have made. It makes a lot of sense. I'm surprised in this because I feel like the Falcons always make the pick that you wouldn't expect them to make. So in a bad way.
Before we sign off, I'll start with you, Dave. Are we going to be back for a second live stream with an suicidal Kevin Held because the Saints have traded back into the first round?
There's a good chance. There's a really good chance. So as soon as we log off, I'm going back into my living room, stay glued to the TV. If you guys know me, then you know I just root for chaos. I root for total chaos. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care whether, Kevin, are you just noting how far your hairline has receded?
No, I'm noting the vein on my forehead.
How big it's getting, how bulgy it's getting.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I think that's an anxiety vein kicking in, thinking about Mickey Loomis doing something stupid.
Ralph, this is where you thank your lucky stars that you still have a full head of hair to hide some of the cranial deficiencies that,
My head is lumpy. God can't make me crippled anyway. That would be wrong.
Tomas, isolate that. My head is lumpy.
Anyway, it's probably best for the Saints to not do anything and stay put. But part of me, I'd be lying if I said part of me wouldn't love coming back on here and watching.
Yeah,
Kevin
absolutely.
Total chaos.
Don't do it, Mickey. Have some restraint, please. But also feel free to go nuts and get us back on here. It's fine. Either way.
Well, we'll keep going to the games.
Yeah.
I think Mickey Loomis is going to get saved from himself. I think the Giants are going to trade. I think the Giants are going to trade up for Jackson Dart. I think Cleveland is going to take Sanders, and I think they're going to get Shuck at 40. I think Mickey Loomis is going to get saved from himself because God loves Mickey Loomis and keeps him from making horrible mistakes. The God does the best he can. Mickey Loomis makes a lot of mistakes. He does the best he can, try to keep Mickey between the ditches. I think we're not going to be back on here for a second first-round pick. The Saints are going to get their quarterback. They're going to get him at 40, and we're going to get like a 500 to 700 word article from Nick Underhill that's going to horrify Kevin, that they were offering 2026 assets. They were offering 2027 assets, and no one said yes, and they got him anyway. So we'll see you tomorrow sometime.
God willing.
Maybe. Or
you guys
an hour.
You guys will.
We'll
I'll be dealing with wrestling. Doing commentary for wrestling tomorrow night, and I won't be able to. I'm going to have to, not have my phone by me because God forbid I see something happen and I'm flipping out trying to do my job over there.
Right. Yeah. Well, Thomas, I know it's like 4 a.m. over there in Poland, but do not.
Thank you. You're the real MVP, Tomas.
Do not go to bed. Stay awake. Have a 5-hour energy. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. Thanks,
Tomas. What do y'all call coffee in Poland?
Kava.
Kava. Yes. There
coffee.
We go.
Oh, Kava, like the Euphorbia, the Kava bar.
I guess.
I thought that was had like drugs and stuff in it.
Kawa.
Before we get out of here, you must grade the Saints draft so far. Dave, give me a grade.
A.
Whoa.
Kevin.
Are you nuts? No trade up an A? Come on, man.
B+.
Andrew?
B-.
A B. I'll give it a B. A B.
Ralph's going to settle for a B.
I was when the Raiders took Genti, I was brokenhearted because I thought the whole key to a beautiful trade down was Genty being there at 9, and it didn't happen. But I'll give it a B. And hey, man, maybe, just maybe, they can be healthy and they can have a fixed offensive line. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting the show. Thanks for donating. I enjoyed the drink. Maybe we'll be back tonight if the Saints trade up, or maybe we won't. But me and Kevin will have a preview show for you tomorrow, telling you the best available for round 2 and 3. Thanks for supporting the show. Dave, Andrew, Kevin, Thomas, the best producer on earth, hanging out with me. Thanks to you guys for supporting us. Until next time, the bar is closed. Don't you do it, Mickey. Don't you do it.